John Maxwell, Next Level Fishing. How you doing today? Not going to get to do much fishing today. Kind of cold outside. The wind's up, blowing. And I thought, well, you know what? Today would be a good day to shoot some clips on some things I want to cover. So with that said, as I've told y'all, I am a recreational fisherman. And I've been fishing off and on, camping off and on all my life. And I got into bass fishing about a year ago. And I'd always fished with minnows and lures, but I never used plastics. I never used crankbaits. And since I've got into bass fishing and learned how to use crankbaits and lures and stuff like that, I've fallen in love with it. And it's been less than a year since I've learned how to use a baitcast reel. So while the techniques I used are still fresh on my mind, I thought I would share some of those with some of you. Maybe part of it will help you learn how to use a baitcast reel. Maybe the whole thing will help you learn how to use a baitcast reel. But I wanted to put my experience on learning how to use one of these baitcast reels while it was fresh on my mind as a beginner with these, with less than a year's experience. I thought I'd put it out there. And maybe you can use part of it. I hope this video helps you to take your game to the next level. So with all that said, this is everything. This is what all has got me to the point to where I am with the baitcast reel. I'd always used a spin cast reel, but the more experienced fishermen that I have fished with kept telling me, you got to learn how to use a baitcast reel. They're so much better. There's so many more advantages to them. And they were right. And if you'll take the time to learn how to use one of these, you will see the benefits too. Now the first thing I want to tell you is the baitcast reel is designed for heavier weights. I had a friend tell me when I bought my first baitcast reel, he said, look, here's what you need to do. Put your weight on, put your 5-gallon bucket out of the way from you, and chunk at that 5-gallon bucket to get accuracy down. And that's how you learn to use it. That didn't work on me. He gave me some pointers that did help me learn. But what helped me learn was taking it to the lake. You have to learn how to cast one of these first before you start working on accuracy. And as I did research and as I talked to more people, I put a game plan together that worked for me. First thing I'm going to tell you is to learn how to use one of these is a combination of eye, hand, ear coordination. You have to be able to see your lure as it's going across there, through there. You have to be able to feather, lightly put your thumb on the spool and know how much pressure to apply. I've got to the point where I can even feel with my thumb as it starts to bird nest, and I can lightly apply pressure on the spool as it's coming out and stop it from bird nesting. You also need to listen. You can hear as the spool is going out and as it starts to slow down. So, what were the techniques that helped me? Well, the first thing, when I first started trying to throw one of these, I had a little bitty bell weight on this thing. It didn't work for two reasons. Number one, it was too light. It wasn't heavy enough to get the full benefits of this. And I still see guys that use lighter baits with years of experience try to throw it with one of these baitcast reels, and they still get bird nests. So, the first thing I did was, I put a lure on here that was heavy and that I could see pretty easily. I couldn't see the little bell weight going through the air on the ground when I was pitching it out on ground, trying to learn how to use this. I got a good size, bright lure that was heavy. That was the number one step, and that definitely helped. You have to be able to see this thing go across the water, and just before it hits the water, you apply full thumb pressure and stop it and let it go down, and let it hit the water, and then start to retrieve your lure. A couple other things, I learned how to set one of these reels up. Now these reels have two braking systems on them. You have a little knob behind your crank. That's one braking system. And then you have another one on this side, which is a totally different braking system, the way that I've looked at it. So how do you set one of these things up? Well, first thing you do is you put your lure on here. And every time you change lures, you have to reset this reel up with the knob brake, what I call the knob brake, behind the crank. Because that has something to do with it. And what I prefer to look at, this is how I prefer to look at this brake. This brake behind the crank stops it from overfeeding when the lure hits the water. This brake on this side stops it from bird nesting while it's going through the air. And that's a philosophy that has helped me set these things up. So, I've got my weight on there. I've got my lure. You hit your thumb release and hold your line down, but you tighten the little knob all the way. My thumb is released. My latch has been released by my thumb, but the lure does not come down. You slowly loosen this knob until this lure starts to gradually fall. And like I said, you reset it on every lure. I go as far as, if I lose a worm, if it's the same identical worm, I reset this brake. Now see, it's starting to fall. Just like that. I'm good there. You kick that in. Now, the next thing I've done is this brake right here. I tighten it all the way. I bring it all the way down. You're not looking for distance. You have to go with the mindset, you know what? I'm not going to catch a fish right now. I'm going to learn how to throw this thing. If I catch a fish, that's an added bonus. And I went to the lake to do this. I got my boat. I went out on the lake. I determined one day I'm going to learn how to use one of these. So we've got this brake set up. I tighten this brake. This brake can also be a friend also, because what I have learned to do is, if I go into a cove where I'm not throwing as far, I tighten this brake up some. And it definitely helps with me with my bird nesting. The shorter the distances, and you'll learn to tighten it up, and you will make casts, and you will not bird nest. You use this brake. Once you set it up, you know, to where you can, once you set it up to throw far, you can pull it back to where you can throw less, throw shorter distances, and it's still going to help you. So rely on this brake also. Once you've got this tightened up, you simply press the release button, holding the spool with your thumb, and you make a nice smooth cast. You don't jerk it. You don't give it that extra pop at the end. If you give it that extra pop on the end, it puts extra momentum on this, and that helps the bird nest. It will bird nest. It has to be a nice, smooth cast. Don't worry about distance. Just before your lure hits the water, keep your thumb lightly over the spool, and just before the lure hits the water, apply enough pressure with your thumb on your spool that it stops it. And as I learned and went along, I loosen up this brake. Once you have this brake set up, you should never have to touch it again. And what you need to think about is this brake right here stops it while it's going through the air. It puts drag on it so it doesn't bird nest. Whereas this brake right here stops it when the lure hits the water. So the mindset that I've used is these two brakes do two different things. This brake is set up once for each individual lure. Once you get it where it will drop slowly, I don't touch this until I change lures. But I'm always constantly adjusting this brake until, depending on how far I have to cast. This brake is my friend, and that's how I look at that. So, once you get everything set up, you throw it out there, you keep an eye on your lure, you put your thumb barely on this, applying very light pressure. As time goes on, you will feel the string as it starts to bird nest, and you will know how much pressure to put on it. I've got good enough I can set this up and not even use my thumb. I can just make the cast. But what I am telling you is the benefits, the time that you put in to learning how to use a bait cast reel are well worth the benefits. You get more control. If you have cast that the wind catches and it's carrying it too far, you can apply pressure and drop it in the water before it gets to the bank or before it gets in a tree. You can be more accurate with these. Yes, I still use the spin cast rods and reels on different variations. When I go to a lighter weight, like maybe a light crankbait or a weightless worm or something like that, I have a spin cast reel with 8-pound test on it. But I use this one with heavier weights, and I have got to where I'm pretty good at this. But I'm not a master at it, but I can drop it where I want to using thumb pressure and stuff like that. So I'm hoping by watching this video that this has helped you some way. There's a tip on here that you can be able to use, and I'm hoping in some way I've helped you take your game to the next level. So see you around on the next clip.